Now, I absolutely cannot stand this heating system. This baseboard heat doesn't do anything. It's super old school, and I feel like it just gets the floor really hot in this corner area. And then there's no kind of blower fan or anything to blow the heat off. So the rest of the room or house stays cold, or the farther you get away from this stays cold. And then this just stays hot around here. So this front room is going to be a kitchen area, and this takes away space. So it's about 4 inches away from the wall. We're going to take this out and put an electric heater down here, and we're going to go ahead and scrap this because it's just broken and old and looks terrible. I mean, look at it. It's really kind of destroyed over there. Anyway, it does work, but it just wastes electricity. So this is another upgrade we're gonna do in the house. I'm gonna go ahead and just unscrew this. Make sure that your electric is turned off, whatever breaker is doing this, so you don't electrocute yourself. This happens to be 110 also, which is weird. I thought these were supposed to be 240, but it's wired into this 110, so it must not even really be that strong in the beginning. And this is a add-on addition to this property, which we're making a duplex now. So I'm gonna go ahead and start unscrewing all this and getting rid of it for scrap. And let's look at the wall, what the wall looks like and what the room looks like after. So I'm gonna show you a wide pan of the room. So this is the room here. You come in the door and then you see how far the room is, and we're making a kitchen. So we're gonna put a refrigerator here, a stove here. I'm kind of mocking things up where I want them to be. I have like a little wooden thing from my shop over there I brought in here so I can mock up where the sink area would go, and the bathroom that you can watch on our channel where we've been working on that bathroom, building a full bathroom. But we're worried about this electrical baseboard heat right here, which is really garbage. I mean, it's probably, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10 feet long and 5 feet across, or 4.5 feet across. It just takes up so much room. You can't put anything next to this or it's gonna get so hot. You can't put a couch next to it. You don't wanna put your little kitchen table next to it because whoever's sitting next to that, their feet's just gonna be burning up. So it's got to go. So this is before, and we're gonna show you after. All right, so just to show you kind of where I'm at, I had to take these two plates off, like they're plates at the end. And then this one wire was with a black wire. I just pulled those apart because this is like a frayed wire. It's not like a regular Romex wire like this. And then I unbolted the little bolts. You can see the bolts were in, and took the element out. And then I disconnected all the lines. And then now I'm just gonna unbolt it from the wall and then remove it from there. And I'm sure there's gonna be dirt and grime back there. We're gonna clean all that up. And then I'm gonna sand, and I'm gonna wipe and kind of quick sand the wall, patch any little dings, and then we're gonna paint the whole thing white. But this thing is a pain in the butt. It's a pain, oh man. All right, so let me get back to work on this. All right, so I got the baseboard piece off of the wall here, and you can see that this wasn't added, that it was part of the wall when the wall came, because that's the original drywall. It's never been painted. So just to get this off, I just pulled the wires through, the one wall wire and the wire that connects to this piece of the baseboard, through the holes right here. And there was only these two small screws that were holding this together, one on each side. So it looks pretty filthy in there. I'm gonna clean it up and see if the drywall's still decent. We could just patch like these little holes, or if they need to cut that whole piece out and make a new piece, because over here in the corner, it looks like they did some funny stuff, and that hole is blown out and that whole piece of wire was squished down in there. So I know in that corner, I at least have to cut that out to whatever the stud is and down. if there is extra wire here, I wouldn't mind cutting a piece up and putting another plug in though. That would be pretty decent. So either over here at the end, if I cut the whole thing out, I'll go straight up and put one in the wall. Or there's one under the window way over there, and I might put one on this side, and then there's one in the corner over here, you know? But more plugs is always good, and if you have the wall open, you might as well take advantage of it. But let's get the rest of this baseboard heat out. So I just did it with the regular flathead because it was just flatheads that had in. You might have wood screws, so whatever is holding it up, just use the proper utensil. And always make sure when you're messing with any of this electrical stuff to test it with your voltmeter. I know that this is on my breaker because I've already tested what breakers do what. So we turned the breaker off, and then we disconnected this from the line over here. So this was the thermostat to turn this on and off. And if we disconnected the main load line, it will never turn on the baseboard heat. There's no connection here. So even if one of these is live, it'll never go through the wall and then through over to connect to any of this stuff. So I know I can play with any of this electrical over here, on the baseboard at least. The plugs are different. They're on a separate because I've already plugged something in and used that plug. So just be careful of what you're doing. Know your situational awareness when you're doing this stuff. Let's get this long one off as well, and then we'll take a judgment. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit over here, and I'm gonna take the long one off as well. I'm not gonna go through the whole step again because you've already seen it through this one, but I want you to see what the baseboard looks like, and then we'll decide if we have to clean this up. Now, if you're gonna take this stuff to the dump, make sure you do what's called cleaning. Take these little brackets off from in here, you know, because these are actually metal, these will rust. This whole thing is aluminum, and I got two on this side, so there was one still in the wall. This one was connected to it, and then the bend, so that's connected to it. So then there's these little wires here. So I just took a pair of wire snips, and I cut it off the end, and cut it off the end here. So then now this is all aluminum and it's clean, and you'll get more money for clean aluminum than if you left this piece of wire and this piece of metal. They'll call it dirty aluminum. You might get like 30 cents, but if it was clean aluminum like this, hypothetically, you might get 60 cents. Makes a big deal. All the rest of this steel, you can just fold this in half, you know, take this outside and bend it, and like bend it 2/3 or a third this way, and then bend it a third this way, and it should only be like 4 feet, and you can usually get it into your trunk. This top panel, you're gonna have to push this top piece down in and then try to bend that. It's gonna be a little harder because it's 2 pieces, but it's not very difficult if you don't have a truck. And then separate all these pieces when you go take it to scrap. All right, guys, so I got bad news. The drywall underneath this thing does not look good at all, especially in this 10-foot section here in the front. You see some of the drywall actually peeled off. It looks like there's a million spider nests in there. It doesn't feel mushy, but I don't want to just put spackle all along that right there and try to, that's like 6 or 7 inches high. Can't cover that with molding. So now I'm gonna cut all this drywall out and replace it. And I'm gonna stick a plug in here as well, an extra plug or two, just so we have more electric and it's updated down here. But you're gonna have to watch the next video to see that. So check out our drywall replacement for floorboard damage, and that'll be out right after this. Like, subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. It really helps out the channel a lot. And it's only 30 seconds for you, but it's a lifetime for us. So thanks for coming to Disturbing Kreationz. I hope you learned something today. And if there's a project that you want to see, please leave it in the comments below so we can get right on that for our viewers. Hey everybody, welcome back to Disturbing Kreationz DIY. And if you saw my video on taking all this baseboard electric heat out, you kind of know where we're at right now. but if you haven't, maybe you can catch up real quick. Now, we're gonna go ahead and, as you see, we have some damaged drywall down here. I don't think it's replaceable. It's just too far gone. When we took the baseboard heat off, it kind of stuck to the back and ripped all the paper off. It's got a lot of spider webs and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my saw and cut this all the way down, measure how long it is, put some pieces in here. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna make a second video for you to check out by installing an extra plug up here while we have most of this drywall cut out. And I'll explain why when I get to that section. But for now, let's get a little work done and get all this crappy stuff out so we can get some new stuff in. Now, God forbid your house has any kind of flood damage or water damage or anything, but if it does, you could get some damage at the bottom of your drywall here. Now, sometimes you won't even see it because it'll be behind the molding, but once you take the molding off, you're gonna catch it. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and cut this out and replace it. It's a pretty simple job. I'm gonna show you the tools that you need to do to cut it out, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the replacing as well. We're gonna go all the way through the spackle and through the sanding so that you can go ahead and get ready to paint this and make it look like you've never even seen it. It was never even damaged.
You know what? I'm just feeling bored today, so let's just break something or chop something up. Yeah!
So always make sure to wear your safety glasses and ear protection because this saw is loud and you don't want to get tinnitus or something else. But you could start anywhere. So where this line is actually 8 inches, and it's 8 inches the whole way. So you don't have to make a line and cut, just cut this directly across and then make a couple of cuts down every once in a while so you can rip it off. You're not just gonna rip this whole thing off all the way. Or you can hit it with a hammer or something, but we don't know what's behind there yet, so we're just gonna be easy. Cross section, so let's cut down some places and pull this out and see what we're working with. And as you can see, it's kind of crappy, it's just falling apart. So I'm glad we're tearing all this out. I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of this out and clean it up so you can take a look at it. We're going to slap some drywall right back in here. So we're getting farther along on the apartment build here. So remember, all this was the electric baseboard. I took all that out and I packed, there was one piece of electric over there and I put the nuts on it and put it up, and I'm going to put this drywall out. For right now, I'm going to screw it in. I'm not going to put the tape on it because I don't know if I want to take that wire and run it down this way and cut up and put another electrical outlet here. And I was thinking of maybe doing the same thing, dropping down from this one, undoing this board and running the wire that way and putting one up closer to where the door is because there's no outlet on that wall or this side. So that is where we're at. I might, I can install this piece and this piece and put tape on those and put them in and paint that. But these two pieces we can't because we're gonna open that back up later. And these two pieces underneath, over and up, these two we can't. So just so you can see where we're at right now. It's coming along great. And remember, we have 4 inches this way and 8 inches up a space that we can put stuff all the way against the wall now. You know, that took up a lot of room. And if that was heat, you couldn't put anything against the wall there, or it would get seriously hot against the wall and then nowhere else. So it was just ridiculous. All right, so Meadow wants you to know, hi baby, that these are all the cool stuff that we got when we took that the wall unit out here. And we did cut out all the drywall, but you're gonna have to watch another video on how to replace damaged drywall on your floorboards. So let's look and see what we got. We've got 8 nut caps, so we don't have to pay for these. We've got 25 sheet metal screws here. Some ground screws with the, oh hey buddy, some ground screws. These were the screws that were holding it in. It only had 6, but hopefully yours are in better condition than these ones. Then we got 8 feet of ground wire and 8 feet of load wire for electrics. So we didn't have the white wire because it wasn't needed. This and this. And then we have on the other side, the small piece, we had 4 foot of ground wire and 4 foot of load wire. And then we have this little tiny piece that was connecting everything in, and this is Romax that is cut out of the plastic already. So if you're gonna put like dual sockets in, you need little pieces, you could cut like 4 or 5 inches of this, maybe a couple of times, and you don't have to spend any money on Romax. So this is great. We got all, like, basically we got 13 feet of ground, 13 feet of load, this and this. And we made $8. What was it, $8? I forgot. $8. Let's just say 8. Meadow says 8. So we made $8 taking that stuff to scrap, that little couple pieces of aluminum and the metal. And then you saw on the table all the nice stuff that we got to do more electrical projects for free. I mean, all this stuff is now freebie stuff that we're gonna put in. Bonus time, huh baby? All right, thanks for coming to Disturbing Kreationz DIY. Me and Meadow appreciate it. If I can't get a like, at least give this little girl a like, because she's always working so hard, you know?